Presiding Officer, I take my role and responsibilities as a member of the Education, Children and Young People's Committee very seriously. Only a matter of hours ago, we completed our last evidence session of our inquiry and have not yet begun work on our cross-party report on the Scottish Attainment Challenge. For that reason, I feel compelled to note that I find the Labour motion today a bit disappointing and perhaps even a bit disrespectful to that work, part of which was outreach to hear directly from parents and teachers about their experience of the Scottish Attainment Challenge. They shared with us things that worked. We heard first-hand testimony of caring, diligent professionalism and practice which reflected knowledge of their pupils, families and children and meant support was delivered in a dignified way. I'm particularly mindful of the words of one head teacher who told us that the discourse around education was rarely about what happened in the classroom and more often about political point scoring and headline grabbing that's going on elsewhere. I'll endeavour in my remarks today not to add to that unhelpful noise. As well as having lots going on for it, the area I represent also faces severe economic challenges. No one in my position would welcome a reduction in funding to address the impact of those challenges. However, it's important to look at the facts of the matter. The Scottish Government decision to change the approach of the Scottish Attainment Challenge Fund was backed by local authorities and COSLA leaders, and that ensures that the redistributed funding allocations recognise that poverty exists in all parts of Scotland. It's an inescapable fact that there's poverty all over Scotland. And I do understand the rationale behind wanting to ensure that the 59% of children in relative poverty that reside out with the 9 challenge authorities receive a fair share of resource. My local authority,
Martin Whitfield.
I'm very grateful, Presiding Officer, and I'm very grateful to Ruth Maguire for giving way. Is she aware of any Scottish analysis of how the impact on the 9 authorities of these cuts will affect them as compared to the effect across Scotland?
Ruth Maguire.
I think that's an interesting point that's been raised there. My local authority was one of the 9 challenge authorities, and up until the pandemic, North Ayrshire was progressing very well, with both raising attainment and reducing poverty-related attainment gap overall. This is evidenced in Education Scotland Inspection Report in July 2018. North Ayrshire is making very good progress with improving learning, raising attainment and narrowing the poverty-related attainment gap. The 2021 report, Scottish Attainment Challenge 2015-20 Impact Report, North Ayrshire's attainment in literacy and numeracy between 2016 and 2019 has improved for learners at all stages. So the work that the local authority, teaching and support staff have done around professional learning, nurture, mental health and wellbeing and family learning has been valuable and it's made a difference. I will, but you do insist on these short debates, so...
Michael Mara.
I will be quick. On that basis, does Ruth Maguire recognising that good work in North Ayrshire, how can she defend the 75% cut that I'm assuming that the SNP are going to vote for tonight?
Ruth Maguire.
I will vote for the Government's amendment which outlays the work that needs to be done to tackle the poverty-related attainment gap. I know that the local authority are working on how these programmes will work going forward and that the multi-year allocations being confirmed over a 4-year period will be welcome and assist all local authorities to plan for the long term. Addressing the poverty-related attainment gap is about more than what goes on in the classroom, and the actions the Scottish Government have set out are putting money in the pockets of families now, helping to tackle the cost of living crisis and setting a course for sustainable reductions in child poverty by 2030. Expanding access to free school meals so that children can feel the benefits of nutritional cooked food during the week. School uniforms place significant pressure on families, which is why the Scottish Government has increased the National School Clothing Grant. The newly doubled Scottish Child Payment, together with the 3 Best Start grant payments and Best Start foods, will be worth over £10,000 by the time a family's first child turns 6, and £9,700 for second and subsequent children. Now, I know that opposition colleagues don't like comparisons with our friends and neighbours over the border, but that difference is of more than £8,200 for every eligible child born in Scotland in comparison to England and Wales. It doesn't make it better for people experiencing poverty here, but it provides context to politicians.